I'm not going to give you a long speech. I'm only here to play a part in honoring the two winners of this year's Deming Cup, Paolo Rocca and Fisk Johnson. And it is my privilege to help introduce Paolo Rocca. I feel almost a special kinship with Paolo. We were born in the same year, although I'm a few months older, in case seniority counts for anything at this stage of our lives. But our families both came from Italy but moved to the New World in order to expand their opportunities without ever losing appreciation for their roots. And as an ever-wandering metal basher myself, I can relate to the constant travel required when you lead a global organization such as Paolo does with Tenaris. In fact, I have not seen him for about 3 years when we met in Buenos Aires a long time ago when Fiat launched the car for the Latin American market. Now, Tenaris produces steel pipes and related products primarily for the oil and gas industry. And like the automotive business, Tenaris might seem to operate in what people might think is a sedate, slow-changing sector. But in truth, both of our companies must constantly evolve in order to meet historic challenges to produce complex, reliable products that meet the practical needs of customers while also reducing their environmental footprint. And Tenaris has shown that it is ready for this challenge. It is on the forefront of technological advancements, such as in the development of products used in deep water operations and corrosive environments, helping to change the way we think about the future of energy. Primarily confined to Latin America during the 1990s, under Paolo's leadership, Tenaris has now expanded its business globally, and it's become the absolute leader in its sector. And today, Tenaris is listed on the stock exchanges of New York, of Buenos Aires, Milan, and Mexico City. Now, the expansion would not have been possible without a leader who understands the importance of managing very different cultures in a way that captures and incorporates the strength of each one. The global business scene has many examples of companies that have failed to deliver strategic synergies because differences across cultures could not be resolved. At Fiat and Chrysler, we have found that a partnership depends on the willingness of men and women from different backgrounds to open up and to share experiences with each other. This diversity has the capacity to foster a creative and a stimulating environment and to generate fantastic opportunities for both professional and for personal growth. These bonds are the only way to ensure that the geographic barriers crossed in global organizations don't turn into cultural barriers through jealousy or nationalism. Any attempt by any side to dominate the culture of another would just not stifle creativity, would also erase the most precious element for a company as well as for every person. And that personal story made up of all the experiences, the good and the bad ones, that have made them who they are, and it would kill their identity and their personality. In a world that increasingly demands global thinking, success will be driven by people who are willing to listen to each other, to share experiences, exchange knowledge and ideas, and expand their horizons. Deming left us with an incredibly powerful example of how this openness can change our lives and can change history. It was Japanese industrial leaders and not Deming's own American colleagues who first embraced his theories of management and of quality control. Paolo Rocca has overseen the creation of a truly multicultural company. He has demonstrated the courage to break away from convention, and Tenaris today stands out for its willingness to challenge the status quo and to travel uncharted paths. Now, unlike some other business leaders, Paolo is rarely the subject of flattering stories in magazines and in newspapers. He prefers to work quietly, believing first and foremost in the ethic of doing things and doing them well. The principle that brought Tenaris to where it is today, and a company that is totally recognized and globally recognized and appreciated as a leading supplier for the world's energy industry. Now, I told you some of the reasons why I share a special kinship with Paolo, but perhaps the most important thing that we share is a philosophy about the future, that it is not enough to simply manage it or imagine it. You need to take responsibility to actually build it. and Paolo Rocca is building its future. And this is why he is a most worthy recipient of the Deming Cup. Thank you very much.